Hi, everybody. This is Lynnis with Wellness Woman 40 and Beyond. Welcome to the show. And I've got a great topic to talk to you about. And I'll tell you why it's on my mind, literally on my mind, my brain, and my memory. As you know, I just turned 60 last week. So I've been thinking about all these different things I need to be looking out for, signs of aging. Well, here's a sign of aging, forgetting things. But here's the good news. There is a way that you can improve your memory, simple things that you can do to improve your memory and your brain function. One thing for sure is if you don't use a muscle in your body, like if you don't use your arm muscles, eventually they atrophy. If you don't do a lot of walking, after a while, those good-looking legs will go away because the toning leaves. Well, the same thing with your brain. If you don't use it, you'll lose it. So I have some tips for you of things that you can do to help improve your brain capacity and hopefully to make you feel more engaged as you age. This whole thing about aging is interesting. So much of it has to do with how you view yourself and how you view what your abilities are. And I really do feel that it's not the age, it's the stage. So if you decide that at 60, let's say my age, that it's all over and you're too old to do anything, well, guess what? You'll probably will be right because you've programmed yourself. You've already predisposed yourself to be tired and not able to learn anything and not wanting to do anything. But if you are 60, 70, 80, 50, whatever the age is, and you've decided that in spite of the age, you're going to thrive anyway, you're going to continue to learn, continue to be engaged, continue to be active, well, then you will be able to be active and engaged. And I think so much of how we look when we age and how we deal with the whole aging process is all up in our heads. So we have to change that self-talk, that negative self-talk that keeps telling us that we can't do a certain thing. There really is. The sky is the limit in terms of the kinds of things that you can do as you age. It really is. It's all in your mind, which brings us back to the brain. There are a lot of things you can do. So let's start, first of all, with mental activities. And these are some simple things that we think really don't make a difference, but they do. You want to make sure that you keep reading. Reading books is so important. We're reading articles, preferably books and articles, magazines, not necessarily reading on the computer because that makes your eyes tired after a while. But reading a book or reading magazines is great for the brain. Or maybe playing some kind of a board game with your friends or with your kids or grandchildren if you have them. That's challenging to your mind to remember the rules, and this is kind of fun. Going to a museum where you get a chance to learn something new or see something new. Many times in a museum, you're not only just seeing things, you're hearing things. In some cases, you might be smelling things. Your senses are engaged. That's all important when it comes to the development of the brain. Here's a good one. Learning a second language. I've just committed that this year I'm going to learn a second language. There's all kinds of wonderful apps that are out there that you can put on your phone to help you learn another language. Not to mention traveling to another country and immersing yourself in the culture and learning as you go. All these things are wonderful for your brain and for your memory because you're working that muscle. You're using your capabilities. You're using all the mental acuity that you already have in a way where it strengthens your ability to remember things and strengthens your brain. Now, another one is working out. Let me tell you something about working out. It is really good for your body. There's no doubt about it. I think that's important. But it's also refreshing. When you're working out, especially outside, you're getting new oxygen into your bloodstream, which creates blood flow to the brain. It's energizing. It kind of is refreshing. It wakes your brain up. It makes you more aware, especially if you're going for a great walk, if you're doing your stretches outside, or if you're bicycling. All those things are engaging the senses because you're out there in the air, you're breathing in that fresh air, you're aware of much more of your surroundings than you are in a car. How many times have you driven down a street in a car and then you turn around and walk down the street or ride your bike down the street and you see things that you've never seen before? Believe it or not, your brain is re-engaging, reprogramming. You're using different senses as you're looking at things, and you're paying more attention when you're walking or when you're riding a bicycle. When you're driving, you're paying attention, I hope, to driving, and you're not really looking that much at your surroundings. So get out of the car, go for a walk, work out, stretch. All those things are things that your brain loves to do. You're re-engaging your brain. And try something different. You know how we always take the same route home every day, maybe, or go to the same store all the time to pick up our groceries or other kinds of things that are just in our routine? We'll switch it up a bit, take a different route home. Try eating something different for breakfast. Go to a different kind of store. If you're going to the same store, maybe go down different aisles and stuff. I know that sounds silly, but switch it up a little bit. Get your brain working and trying new and different things. This seems like such a simple thing. I know it does, but the experts say that it really does make a difference in terms of enhancing our brain function. Another thing that's important is you can learn how to play a musical instrument. Now, I know some people say, wait a minute, that's too much, Lynnis. Come on now. But think about it. When you are playing another musical instrument, all your senses are going to be engaged. Your touch, your hearing, your seeing. I don't know about the smells. Maybe smells because you start to sweat because you're wondering if you're doing a good job. But learning how to play the piano, the guitar, the flute, something that you enjoy listening to would be something that maybe you might enjoy learning how to play. Not only will you learn how to play the instrument, but you might learn how to read music. I mean, there's so much key learnings involved in playing an instrument. I have a piano in my house that I haven't sat down and played in years. But after researching for this broadcast, that's one of the things I'm going to do. I'm going to learn a new language, and I am going to go back to the piano after it gets tuned, go back to the piano and start playing. And you know what? Playing the piano or an instrument, if you used to do it when you were young, it's almost like riding a bicycle. I took piano for like 6 years, so I do know how to play. But it's been so long, so I know it might be a little bit rusty, and maybe when I try to do it when no one's around, because it might sound kind of bad. But my expectation is, and I'm setting the intent, that I will be able to start playing the piano again because I used to do it. So for those of you who used to play instruments and you gave it up because you didn't have time or you got interested in other things, consider playing an instrument for the first time or going back to something that you used to do. It really is a great way to engage your brain, to give it a good workout. Another thing you can do is to make sure about your diets. And I talk about this all the time, but having a good diet is so important when it comes to taking care of your body, but even more specifically, your brain. You want to make sure that you're getting food with plenty of omega-3. Fish is super important. How you prepare your food is important to make sure you're getting the most out of your food. I know it tastes good to fry stuff, but don't fry it as much. In fact, if you can cut it out completely, you're doing your body a favor. It helps when you're not frying foods, you have better digestion, lower caloric intake. You're not taking in all of that bad fat because usually things that you fry in aren't good for you. The oil that you fry in isn't good for you. So just cut out the fried foods because that way you'll get more nutrients. Increase your fruits and vegetables, especially your vegetables. Your dark green leafy vegetables are really important. And eat more fish. I remember when I was a little girl, my mom used to tell me that fish was the brain food. And she's right. I just thought she was telling that to make me eat fish. But it's true because of the omega-3. So eat more fish. Another thing is, have you ever noticed when you are learning something, let's maybe learning a new process on the job, or you're learning a new game, or maybe you are learning a new hobby, you're learning something new, learning social media, learning how to work your computer more, you get tired. When you get tired, instead of pushing yourself to continue working on learning that thing, stop. Just stop and rest. What happens with your brain and the rest of your body when you rest is that your brain, your body, it recalibrates. It files away those things that you've learned in your memory banks. It helps your body to kind of reset itself. It's super important, especially when you're learning, to make sure you get plenty of rest. As you get older, you want to increase your rest. There's nothing wrong with taking a nap in the middle of the day. We've talked about that before. But at night especially, to help facilitate rest, turn off the TV You know, maybe have some an indoor fountain that's near your room or that you can put on your desk. You know, those little fountains with the dribbling rocks that you can hear. That's very stimulating to the brain and relaxing and calming at the same time. Also, you know, to help facilitate sleep, there's all kinds of essential oils you could use or teas that you can use, but you really want to make sleep a high priority if you're working on increasing your brain function. A couple of other things that you could do to make sure that you keep your brain healthy is to eliminate as much stress as possible. There's all kinds of ways to do it. In fact, I talk about that in my course, De-Stress the Mess. In De-Stress the Mess, I give you 21 concrete things that you can do. You can do them all at once if you want to, or you could do it once a day or choose the ones that resonate with you. But 21 things that you can do that help eliminate your stress. When you're eliminating your stress, your body feels better. Your memory is much better, not to mention all your vitals in terms of your blood pressure. You're creating a better environment to fight off chronic disease and all kinds of things. So reducing stress is not just good for your brain. It's good for your overall mind, body, spirit health. To find out more about how to reduce the stress and how to promote more calmness in your life, go to my online school. It's the Wellness Woman 40 and Beyond Holistic Living and Wellness Academy. That's Wellness Woman 40 and Beyond Holistic Living and Wellness Academy. There you will find courses, some are free, some you pay for, on how to live a more holistic life and especially how to reduce your stress. Now, getting back to brain health, there's something else that I think is really important that we don't do enough of, and we're heading into a time of the year where we really want to make sure that we hydrate. Don't you love this? This is my diffuse, I don't know what you call these things. I forgot what they're called. This is just a regular glass with a lid on it, but it has this little filter thing in it. And I put my cucumbers and my lemon, my gingers in there, and some lime juices in there, key lime juice. And I drink plenty of water because, you know, the brain is more than 90% water. If you're not hydrating yourself, not only is it bad for your organs, but you're not going to think as clearly. You know how sometimes you get fuzzy during the middle of the day? I know that's true for me. Between around 1 or 2 o'clock is when I get fuzzy. So what I do is make sure that I drink plenty of water to kind of wake me up. Lemon water, I've talked about this many times before. One thing about the key lime, though, is that it is energizing to the brain. There's something that they have found in key lime when you put in water that helps to provide more electrolytes and kind of wakes you up. It's almost like drinking a cup of coffee. So I squeeze the lime juice, the little tiny key limes, not lime, but key limes in particular, have a lot of electrolytes in them. And then, of course, I've got my cucumbers in here to make sure my alkaline levels are good, and my lemon, and to make sure that I am giving it a gentle detox and getting rid of a lot of toxins in my liver. So this is kind of a dual function here. It's not just for your brain, but for your body overall. I drink this throughout the day, and I find that I have a lot more energy through the course of the day. Another memory helper or brain health thing that will help you. There's nothing wrong with writing things down. I use my computer a lot, but I also write things down. Writing things down helps to commit things to memory. It really does. I know that these days everybody's putting it on their phone and, you know, on their computer, on their iPad. I get that, but writing it down actually helps to commit it to memory. There's nothing wrong with that. Also, set reminders for yourself. If you know you're supposed to be calling someone at a certain time, set it on your phone and remind yourself, and it'll give you a little alarm and it will remind you to call someone. There's nothing wrong with using those aids to make sure that we're remembering. And there's nothing wrong with multitasking. I'm a multitasker. But there are times when I really have to slow myself down because, you know, it's not that serious. I don't have to rush all the time. So therefore, I try not to multitask as much and try to complete one task at a time. Your brain loves to be able to focus on one thing at a time. I know that when we're multitasking, we're kind of feeling like we're on top of it and all of that. But the reality is your brain gets a little frazzled with that after a while. So do your brain a favor and slow down a little bit It's not that serious. And focus on one thing at a time. And when you're learning something new, focus on learning that one step at a time. Sometimes because we're so used to instant gratification, boom, 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 things is happening right away, we get impatient with ourselves and we don't give ourselves enough time to learn, enough time to assimilate, and the new information that we're learning get a chance to kind of marinate it in our brain. We really do have the time. So much of the stressing and the rushing around like chickens with our head cut off, that we do in the society is all self-imposed. So if you want to have a healthy brain, let's go back over some of these things. You want to make sure that you stay calm, that you get enough rest, meditate from time to time, give yourself a break, kind of distress the mess like I talk about in my course, and give yourself time to learn. Get plenty of rest. Make sure you're eating green, healthy vegetables. Try new activities. Practice learning new things like a new language, or maybe learning on a new instrument. Learn to music of some kind. Go to a museum. Work out, especially get outdoors. Your brain loves to feel that new oxygen coming into the system. And, learn how to enjoy life more. Go out and laugh. Be with friends. Engage yourself. Stay engaged. And most importantly of all, allow yourself to enjoy life as you are right now in this moment in time. Stop stressing yourself all the time, rushing around from here to there. Stop and smell the roses. Give your brain a chance to assimilate and to enjoy all the things that you're exposing it to. You'll be surprised how much better your brain will function and how much better you feel if you just take some of these tips. Thanks so much for listening, and come back again. This is Lynnis, and I'm a holistic living and wellness expert, and I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.